AI tools are everywhere right now. Some are built for writing, some are built for coding, and some are completely changing how we find and use information, or just doing anything in general. And one that keeps coming up more and more is Perplexity AI. I know you've heard of it because it's one of the big ones. So I spent some time actually using it, not just testing it, but using it how you would normally use it day to day. And today we're going to talk about what it does, where it works well, whether or not it's actually worth using, and all the fun GBRLIFE stuff. Speaking of GBRLIFE, welcome to GBRLIFE Reviews, where I test the tools, platforms, and systems so you don't waste your time, your money, or your energy. So let's get into it as you like and subscribe. And as I always say, I have chapters below so you can move ahead into the section that you're looking for. So what is Perplexity? Well, it's an AI tool that helps you ask questions, explore topics, work through information in a really simple way. Plus, they've really upped their game with connections and assistance. I mean, it just goes above and beyond at this point compared to some of the other tools out there. ChatGPT. You know what? Here you can type something in, get a response, and keep going from there without starting over. But you can also ask follow-up questions, go deeper into something, and just completely shift directions. But the thing is here, it all stays connected. And it's very straightforward to use. You open it, ask something, and just start interacting. Plus, you have your assistants, plus you have your connections. It just goes really far. And the biggest thing, there's no real setup, like I said. And that means there's no real learning curve. It just works. So let's get into Perplexity so you can see exactly what I mean. And let's get started with what I like. Here's Perplexity. And the first thing you're going to see is it's simple. How is it simple? Right when you get straight to it, it just has the name and something to type in. But it gets even more simple. When you're here, it already tells you type and you can search for modes, type and ask for anything, type and go straight into a skill. And on here, you also get the opportunity to ask for a different model. So you can type that in or you can just simply select it to the side. Love that. You don't have to stick with ChatGPT only. You can go over to Sonar, you can go over to Gemini, you can go over to Claude. And they've got multiple Claudes even. And you can speak or you can dictate. Plus, you can do your deep research and it's all right in front of you. There's no searching for this. It's right there. Now, if I go over to the side, you can start a new thread by simply selecting. You can go to your history. You can discover, which I find amazing as well because you can simply see what's going on in the world straight from Perplexity itself. And that can help you with your searches, or it can help you discover more that you may not even know you're looking for. Plus, you have spaces. You can get Perplexity support, what would Buffett say, or LLM research. You also have finance, and you have travel, shopping, academic, patents, skills, and use cases. Why does this all matter? Well, let me go over to use cases, and I think you'll understand now that we're here. Look at this right in front of you. If I were to select, say this right here, workforce map, the federal footprint, you could go and select all of this, any of this, and gain more information. This was created for you, but it was made with Perplexity Computer. Why computer? Well, it's because Perplexity is available across the board. This is just the computer aspect of things, which means you can build your own right here, or you can be on your tablet or your phone. You have options on how you're going to do this, but look what it can show you that it can do. All of this here is them saying, I want this created, and it was created. You've got websites. You've got an app. What else can this do? Well, let's go over to the account. Why? Because I want to show you the connectors. I absolutely love just how much you can connect with Perplexity. This means you can go through any of these items, any of these platforms, any of these options, and connect Perplexity to make your life easier. What do I mean by that? I mean, they also have skills. If you know Claude has skills, and what are skills? These are basically your prompts turned into essentially a skill for AI to do. Don't continuously tell the prompt what you want or the AI tool that you're using, the LLM. You can instead create a skill and have it continuously done without you having to do the extra work of getting them to make it happen. In other words, don't tell it 10,000 times that you want it to create the specific blog post or to create the specific tool or to create anything. Instead, use a skill or use the assistant, because that's an option here too. And here you can save time on your inbox and calendar with Perplexity Assistant. Where is the calendar option? Remember I showed you on that connectors, email with calendar or Outlook. Plus you have all of your other really great project management tools. Imagine now adding in your own AI to those tools instead of relying on theirs and the limitations that theirs provide. And if you go over here, let's go ahead and try this out to see how it actually works. We know where we're going to get started with this. Apples, spelled states wrong. What are the apple varieties that are the most popular in the United States? Pretty quick, already done. Compared to other tools, I'd have to say, I absolutely love how quick this is. And I don't have to explain it. It already understood what I was trying to say. Immediately tells me common bestsellers: Gala, Honeycrisp, Granny Smith, Fuji, Red Delicious. Also often seen: Pink Lady, Macintosh, Envy, Ambrosia. And this is a big deal. If you've seen any of the other videos, you know I love Cosmic apples. I also love Honeycrisp the most. However, Cosmic is a very close second, and it is finally on the list. And that alone makes Perplexity the most amazing. Okay, not the most. It's pretty good. It's pretty amazing. It makes me very happy. The other thing I really love here, automatically they're saying, hey, here's some good follow-ups for you. Build an interactive comparison dashboard for top U.S. apple varieties, Gala, Honeycrisp, and so forth. They're basically saying all of them. Delicious with flavor, texture, best uses, and seasonal filters. Or create a PDF. Or I can ask additional questions. We're going to go ahead and do the first one. That's not complicated. It put it as a prompt. I'm going to go ahead and select go for it. Oh no, it wants us to upgrade to Pro. Before I go ahead and talk about pricing, because essentially we've now hit what I don't like. One thing to keep in mind here is that this should cost money because everything else does, right? Now, when I say this should cost money, do I think that everything should be free? Of course I do. I mean, the world should be free at this point. There's so much that we pay for as humans, and it's starting to get ridiculous. We basically pay to survive. But in that, knowing everything else already costs a lot of money, the fact that I was able to ask a question without an issue, I can go and connect things to Perplexity without actually needing to upgrade my plan or anything like that. Or I can create skills. Let me go over there first. I can create these skills. You can also select create a skill, create with computer, or upload a skill. Or I can look at those use cases, or I can have these files just in case you need any additional features. Or I can talk about my tasks and add a new task. And I can use this across the board. I have to say, of course, this should cost something, but I don't like that some of the best features are immediately paywalled. Yeah, I can see it under the use cases, but I'd like to see it for myself. Let me see how good you actually are by me going ahead and making this happen just from the first time. Like give me one time to do it to see how well it actually does, not just your use cases. And then the other thing I don't really love is that it does a whole lot, yes, but this is a little bit of the master of none situation. It's really good at what it does, yes, but at the same time, it's not the best of the best that I've seen out there. Yeah, okay, it can create a website and it can create an app, but so can Claude. And it's using essentially Claude to do that. If you think about it, it's the LLMs that we're basically using to make that happen. So essentially, you have it all in one place, but this is what's making the world go round. If for any reason any of these drop off, you're not going to get what you're getting from Perplexity right now. You're going to get some great things, don't get me wrong, but this is your secret weapon. That's how they're able to do it. So they're very heavy on being able to use these models, and they're very heavy on showing you what it can do, but making you pay in order to do it. And so because of that, I don't love it. So what is all of this going to cost? We're finally here. Let's talk pricing. Okay, so we've got different pricing options. Now, because I am signed up under my business, it went directly to business. So I'm sure you're looking at this and going, oh my goodness, that's a lot. $34 a seat each month or $271 a seat each month. You're not wrong, but this is business. You also have education. And on that, you can do $9 a month. If you're a student, I'd say that's a great option to help you really simplify your life as long as you're doing it according to the rules. I'm not advocating for anybody to cheat. And now we're going to go and look at the main one. What most people are going to actually use this with is Perplexity Pro or Max, which means it's either $17 or it's $167. I know, a huge price jump. And if I could say and go back in time for just a second and say things I don't like, I would add in the what. But for now, we're going to look at the 17 and say it can give you automated complex tasks with access to Perplexity Computer, access to the latest AI models, and you can select between all of those different models. You are going to get better answers for complex questions and building reports, documents, and apps. And you get deeper sourcing from Perplexity's index, including proprietary financial scientific data from PitchBook, Wiley, and more. And of course, there are usage limits, but that is something that exists with everything. Now, if you go over to education, you basically get the same thing, but under education for $9 a month, but you do have to verify as a student or an educator. And that's why I'm saying if you are a student, this is a really good option. Why? Because it doesn't matter what other AI tool you're thinking about, it's going to be more than $9 a month, which means this alone is a great reason to select Perplexity as your go-to. Again, as an educator or a student, you have access to really everything that you're going to want to need, and you're spending a whole lot less. Now, if we're comparing it to some other tools at $17 a month, this is a good price. Now, if you're wanting to do this as an annual plan, you're still spending less because annually, even if you're looking at other tools, at $17 a month, you're still spending less than these other tools that is going to give you a whole lot more because you're utilizing a whole bunch of these LLMs in one location. And each LLM that you saw listed is at a minimum $20 a month, if not $25 at this point. So that brings us to the bigger question, is Perplexity worth it? After using it for a bit, this is one of those tools where whether it's worth it or not really comes down to how you're using it. If you're someone who tends to go a little deeper into things, like you don't just stop at one answer and you want more and more, and then you want to build upon that, and then maybe you want to create an entire dashboard and then turn that into a website, and then make that into some version of your personality, I would say that this is probably for you. Yeah. But if you want just like a quick answer and then you want to move on, I wouldn't say that this is something that you really need. You could probably get away with that with going over to Brave and just utilizing Leo for that. Brave because it's private. So, that's also really awesome. Brave is pretty great with the privacy. So select that option if you're just going to go quickly from that. But on Perplexity's side, again, it depends on what you're looking for, on whether or not it's going to actually be worth it. But if it were me and I was going to go and look at AI in general, and I wanted to really understand what AI can actually do without going too deep into coding, I might actually start looking over at Perplexity more than I would look at something like ChatGPT. I would say actually, if I was going to select or rate them as a whole, I would say Perplexity and Claude are pretty close to each other in what you're capable of doing. Perplexity is a really great selection if you want to go more on it's done for you versus Claude, it can do it, and so much more. But that's for another day, another time. Oh, wait, I already did that one. You can go look at that review next. But that is also why Perplexity AI gets the GBRLIFE rating of a 4.5 out of 5. Why? Because it's simple, it's useful, and it naturally fits into everyday life. Plus, it's pretty awesome. You saw those use cases. It's pretty amazing, period. And people know that, which is the whole reason that it's becoming more and more popular. The other tools that I've mentioned that have that all-in-one feel don't even come close to Perplexity, especially in that deeper research and what it can do in addition to that. It offers everything here and you're not going to be disappointed with what you actually get from it. Have you tried Perplexity before? Drop your experience in the comments below. Or are you sticking with ChatGPT or Claude AI? If you're sticking with Claude, I totally understand. And if there's another tool out there you are interested in putting through the GBRLIFE review treatment, why don't you go ahead and let me know about those in the comments below? I'd like to look into those next and maybe bring it up for a review. But it has to be a good one, because if it's something that you are creating on the side, I will figure that out. But it doesn't mean I won't review it. I'd like to review anything that is going to be great for everybody out there. Why not? Let's share. Let's not hoard all of the good things. Let's all come together for once in this world with the chaos that is going on and that GBRLIFE does not agree with, if you're wondering. That is where it stands. But that's it for this week's review. But you can keep this party going with the companion blog over at GBRLIFE.com. And the link is in the description and the comments. And if you want more honest, no fluff breakdowns, check out the GBRLIFE reviews playlist, where you can find more. And my latest review on Craft. Is it the digital list and document tool that you have been missing in your life? Why don't you find out when you watch that one next? And remember, with everything on GBRLIFE.com and my fabulous Mama Koala clothing line that is available on TikTok and many other locations out there, but you can just go to mamakoala.com. It's coming from the same place, guys. It's the same thing. It's, you can go and purchase from one location or the other. It's going to be the same thing, but it's up to you. And also, you don't have to be without GBRLIFE in your life. Now go watch another review at this point, or go check out the companion blog, and I will see you in the next one, hopefully with a voice, hopefully not with the scratchy, raspy thing that you're listening to currently. But it's not my fault. It is the fault of society who has created this sickness within me. Or maybe it was my children deciding to touch everything and the hand sanitizer didn't work the way I needed it to. Okay, we'll see you in the next one.